You should keep like a real one. So that I can have an email for the hours.
This is just going in the back and also. It's supposed to be really good. So when we got to the track meet right after, so he's got to have it done today. Wednesday.
Or actually,
I mean, I couldn't do it until 2. No, I can do it during 10th period. Ooh.
that's math class.
You can interview him. He's a teacher of the year candidate. Yeah. But yeah, if you can't get him, then just you can come back here.
It feels like a Thursday. It does. You know what I mean? Like it feels like there's another day after. Oh yeah. I got put in the slow beat. What's your impression of the first one? Yeah. Easy. Okay. But you know, my first eight, like, the first question.
I'm glad you like for anything. I need some give me points.
I need more help with that.
Yeah, that's what I need. It's still like, like I do that, but it's not the
You'll do fine. I am. The test is really set up the exact same way.
I guess not. Like,
I think it's one.
there's no point anymore.
Oh, yeah.
I got it in mind, but I don't think it was a possibility.
That's not what I'm worried about. I've done that today. I can't have after school about those things.
I know.
Right now. I thought it was like, when I first did it, I would make it two and two rides. I thought like 2 days, but okay, I didn't. If I do to do that,
Oh, like spicy?
yeah.
A little bit. I want to go.
I think it's
Yeah.
I
really-
You
get so many and it doesn't.
But are you going
Julie,
to?
that's what I was.
You can't do that. You're like,
That's literally.
That's me. Yeah, but imagine how especially what are you majoring in?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
There's
a roommate.
No.
I did in the first class. Yeah, but I'm saying don't do it. Well, not like a day, like in like 2 or 3 days. On like paper. That's.
You don't need to go. You don't need to Oh, this is
I'll give you a bonus point if you can tell me what series, the first problem is, what function it is. The first problem, if you can tell me what function that is, I'll give you a bonus point.
Is that a bonus question?
Sure. Is anybody done? You done? Sure. Huh? Who has some things still? Ben? Ben? Oh, I see it now, okay. So you gotta pull out your notes from yesterday. Like, we put something down wrong. There's something minor, and I can't believe I didn't catch it. So if you look back, and when we wrote the series for sine of x, because that's the first one we did, right?
Yeah.
The sigma form. So if you notice, the starting value of that was n equals 0, right? Yeah? And then what happens when you plug n equals 0 into what we wrote down? The first term, what's it going to be? Won't be 1.
-1.
For sine of x. Here. Should be x, isn't it?
Yes.
Should be x. But that's not what it's going to be if you plug in n equals 0 into,
Be negative.
right, because the power of -1 that we wrote down was -1 to the n plus 1. You guys see that?
Yeah.
Is that what we wrote down? Should be -1 to the n. I don't know how I didn't catch, I don't know where that came from. And I did it in the next period class too. And I said, oh yeah, so if we started, since this is starting at n equals 0, this is -1 to the n plus 1, and then someone was like, no, it's not. And I was like, yeah, you're right. I don't know what drug I was taking during third period. Which means that the one that if you use the same one for cosine, it's also the same way. It should be -1 to the n, not -1 to the n plus 1. So fix both of those. They're written correctly up here. So this is x to the n over n factorial. This is -1 to the n, x to the 2n plus 1, 2n plus 1 factorial. -1 to the n, x to the 2n, 2n factorial, which was the one on your quiz. Cosine of x. So yeah, make sure we have those correct. It's embarrassing. Okay, so do you want to run through these ones from last night, what you were supposed to do? Write these series. So the first one was x squared times cosine of x, right? So x squared times cosine of x would just be to take this guy right here, multiply all the terms by x squared, yes? So it'll be x squared minus x squared times x squared over 2 factorial. Now, if you want to put the 1 over 2 factorial out front, you can do it that way too. That's not illegal. Then plus x squared times x to the 4th over 4 factorial minus x squared times x to the 6th over 6 factorial. I think that's all we wanted, right? 4 terms. So if we were to simplify those, that would be x. This shouldn't be an equal sign because I'm not listing all the terms. So I'm going to put colon. That's going to be x squared minus x to the 4th over 2 factorial plus x to the 6th over 4 factorial minus x to the 8th over 6 factorial. Right? And then if we were going to sigmatize this, so we're just going to do x squared to the 2n over 2n factorial. You just literally plug in x squared into that formula. And then we could simplify that if you want. What does that simplify to? X to the 4n. What was that? over 2n factorial. Oh, wait. Yeah, it's multiplied. What did we just find? I just wrote that down. I looked up and I said, hold on a minute, that's not right. What did we just find within that what we just did? What did we just do?
Oh, cosine of x squared.
We did cosine of x squared. So this is not true. Let's fix that. Well, let's just do this. That's not what we wanted. We wanted x squared times cosine of x, which is going to be, so now what do we do? We don't plug in x squared. What are we going to do? Multiply by x squared. So x squared times x to the 2n over 2n factorial. Now simplify that. How do we simplify that? 2n plus 2 over 2n factorial. As soon as I wrote that down, I knew it was wrong because I said, wait, this was 8 and 6. There's no way that could be 4n and 2n. This was 6 and 4. Because if it was 4n, you'd never have a degree 6. Okay, what's the next one? E to the radical x, yeah? So how are we going to do that one? Yeah, into e. So this is 1 plus radical x plus radical x squared over 2 factorial plus radical x cubed over 3 factorial. All right. Now, it might help us if we wanted to simplify this to think of this as x to the 1/2. And then if we were going to sigmatize this, that's going to be x to the 1/2 to the n over n factorial, starting with n equals 0. And how does that simplify? I mean, we could leave it like that, I suppose, but how does this simplify? So n equals 0 to infinity, that's going to be x to the n over 2 divided by n factorial. Okay, what's the next one? Sine of x cubed. So we're going to take the series for sine of x and plug in x cubed. I think we said 4 terms, right? Oh, not equals, because I'm not writing all the terms. So we'll use a colon. Yeah.
You can put equal if you put the like plus dot dot dot.
Yeah. You could put, if you put plus dot dot dot, you could. Now when I was grading the AP test, when we did AP, like you had to be real careful with that. Like, because if they ask you for the first 4 terms, that's all they want. If you put extra terms, they actually would take off the point. Especially if you put one that was incorrect. If you put more than 4 terms and they ask for 4 terms, they would just grade the first 4 terms, and then if the one after that was wrong, then weird rules. But if they ask for the first 4 terms and you put plus dot dot dot, sometimes they would take that, sometimes they wouldn't. Just goofy stuff. So we could leave it like that, and we want to simplify it, we can. That's x to the 9th over 3 factorial plus x to the 15th over 5 factorial minus x to the 21 over 7 factorial. And if you're going to sigmatize this, that's going to be -1 to the n, not n plus 1, x cubed to the 2n plus 1 over 2n plus 1 factorial. It's so much easier to just plug that x cubed into the sigma form than it is to try to figure out that pattern. Don't try to figure out that pattern. It's not worth your time. Because the pattern is just going to fall in your lap if you just do it right here. And then if you want to simplify it, yeah, that's great. -1 to the n, x to the, what's that going to be? 6n plus 3. Over 2n plus 1 factorial. And then what's the last one?
Integrate sine x to the 5 term. No.
So, what are we really asking for there in number 4? We're really saying, give me a series for the antiderivative of sine of x cubed. That's what is written there, right? The integral of sine of x cubed, right? That's what's written there. And we're saying find a series for that. Now this is kind of interesting because we can find a series representation for the antiderivative of sine of x cubed, but we actually can't find a representation of that antiderivative just in terms of sine or cosine. Like we couldn't integrate that by parts or anything like that. But we can find its antiderivative in series form, not in what they call closed form. That's kind of crazy. And you'll see this, like when you take, if you go on and take differential equations at some point, you'll do this. You'll solve antiderivative problems in their power series form instead of their regular form. So how are we going to do that? Now let's not put equals, let's just put colon. So what's the way we're going to do this? Just take the series that we did right here and anti-differentiate it term by term. So what's the antiderivative of x cubed? X to the 4th over 4 minus x to the 10th over 10 times 3 factorial plus x to the 16 over 16 times 5 factorial minus x to the 22 over 22 times 7 factorial. There you go. Could we sigmatize it? Can you anti-differentiate this when it's written like that? Is it doable? It's scary. It seems very intimidating and scary, but it's actually really, really easy. What do you do with the exponents on x? When you anti-differentiate? Add 1. And then you divide by that exponent, right? All the stuff with the n in it isn't going to change. So when we anti-differentiate this, the new power of x is going to be x to the 6n plus 4 divided by 6n plus 4, and then this will still be there. Like if you can add 1, you can do that antiderivative. That easy. Yeah.
Would that be, so would, oh, never mind. I was thinking like it'd be negative cosine x, but that's not.
No, because of the chain one. Yeah. So this right here, my friends, is an antiderivative of sine of x cubed in a very, very weird form. One that, could be useful, but it doesn't look pretty. It's not like nice and cute, packaged with a bow on it, like, oh, it's cosine of x cubed, And we didn't find it by integrating by parts or anything like that. In fact, you can't. This function, I don't think, has an antiderivative in regular form. Okay? So how do we feel about that? So when you're writing these power series representations, and we're doing this building a new series from an old series, what's key to this? What do you have to be able to do? What do you have to know in order to do this? What? You gotta know the old ones. You gotta know the series for sine, cosine, e to the x. We're gonna add a couple more here in a second. Okay? You gotta know the old ones. Let's add one more to the mix real fast. What if I gave you this series right here? If I said, consider this guy. Which is basically just x to the n. What do you think about that?
Yeah.
I skipped 6. I sure did. Yeah, we're not trying to be sneaky here. Let's just do this and call that 6 and forget about 7. Okay, so what else do you notice other than I skipped 6? What kind of series is that? You might not realize it.
Inverse harmonic.
What?
Inverse harmonic.
An inverse harmonic?
Yeah.
I'm not sure what you mean by that. Just make that up?
Yeah.
How do you get from one term to the next? Like, isn't this term right here just something times this term? And isn't this term right here something times that term? And isn't this term right here something times that term? Isn't this term here times something like that term? What kind of series is that? What kind of series is it when you have the same thing times each term? That's how you get from one to the next. How quickly we forget. What kind of series is this? It's geometric. So is this. This is geometric. What's the common ratio? right? Now, if the common ratio ends up being a fraction, this converges, right? It sums up to something. What does it sum up to? It's the first term over what? 1 minus r, but what's r? X. So this function right here, 1 over 1 minus x, is actually equal to this. Crazy. I better give you this paper. So we've added another one that we could add to this little list over here. 1 over 1 minus x. 1 plus x squared plus x cubed. That one's the easiest one. Now that one only converges for certain values of x, but it still is a power series. Where's that centered, by the way? Where's that power series centered? Pi. Pi over 4. Isn't it centered at 0? All those are centered at 0, aren't they? So far? Okay, so here's what we're going to do. You're not going to be able to do number 5 because we don't know natural log yet. I want to make you derive natural log from scratch. Cruel and unusual punishment. Okay, so I got to give you a hint though in order to do this. This is going to be very similar to what you did last night, which just from glancing out when we were going over that, not a lot of you did. So number 2, look at number 2. To build the series for number 2, you're going to build it from this. But how are you going to do that? How are you going to make this into that? What needs to be substituted in for x? Negative x, exactly. Okay? So if you substitute in negative x, like that'll be that series. Okay? Well, actually, you're going to be able to derive a series for natural log from the answer to number 6.
All right, well, have a nice weekend. Oh, yeah.
Crazy. There's track meet tonight.
I won't be here Monday.
Isn't that 10:15?
Oh, yeah, I'm in that.
Yeah.
Have you done?
Yeah, I did that a couple of years ago. I have to do. Yeah.
I don't know any of
I just said, I think
Okay.
Stuff like that.
Would you like to see that? Are you gonna be there?
I had Mr. Snyder here, so I think that worked.
Oh, I have Mr. Bruce as one of my.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I only made like 2 of them.
I'm upset that I'm missing. Why did it?
Yesterday. Or was it Tuesday? Was it this week?
Yeah. You got art.
So I can say congratulations. I wasn't sure if it was.
Can you not do anything important on Monday?
No, we were gonna do something important.
Please.
Yeah, just life doesn't stop for CTC. My world does not revolve around
Maybe we should
CTC.
just wear.
Even though everybody else's world seems to revolve around
Maybe we
CTC,
should
my world does
just not
revolve around
dress fancy and then she won't let us go to it and then we can.
Then I just come here and I have the AP.
No one would even know. Do you have an AP test that day?
Yeah.
So are you skipping the AP test?
No,
I don't think that's enough.
Oh, it's afterwards. What would happen if you had an AP test? We probably just rescheduled all the AP tests around
Probably.
that. Yeah.
She's passionate. Passionate, yeah, it's a good word. The next word.
She used to be a math teacher.
Really?
Yeah.
Scary.
Who?
For you.
Oh, yeah. How do you get early?
His stepson.
His stepson and you. His stepson.
It wasn't terrible, you had to look the first and third, that's really what I struggled with. I don't know why I struggled with that.
No, he's like, calls up people that are kept captain. Yeah, mine, it was like 81. What is it? But he said, oh, and then. That was so.
That, I thought that was
One,
really
one,
like.
this quiz is hey, this quiz is easy. I'm gonna fail it at lunch. Two questions? Yeah, that means the questions are worth 10 points each.
He said they were only gonna be like about stuff, like about the stuff that we did for.
Yeah, it's not about like building your own series or anything.
Well, I mean, like, the homework was like only about one specific.
This is
thing.
the
Yeah.
question.
It's only about building the rate, like finding the radius of convergence. That's it. So we're good.
Oh. If.
And the first like,
Well, even then, the interval speed is fine. Yeah, but I don't know, it might be a little bit.
I doubt it.
the radius.
Sweet, that makes it easy.
Like,
Say, the series converges from negative 5 to 5, radius is 5.
No, it's not.
I'm not.
Or same with progression. She said she could work anywhere.
I can't be right.
I mean, so basically,
I
just
have
cancel and stuff.
Yeah.
It should be two.
I didn't try to beat last week.
Shane, come on. Say one more. I don't want to work 6 days a week.
You practically work 7 to the double on some next.
35 hours.
And then she was.
It'll be more than 35 hours. I hit 35 hours. I hit 40 hours. I will.
And then.
It was our 4x8 though, it was our 4x8. So. I can run 2 laps around the track in 2 minutes and 5 seconds.
No, she said we'll be fine.
That is max. 2 of our kids go sub 2 minutes. That's fast.
I can't even do one more. 5 is fine.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm really good.
I don't push myself this Saturday.
I can jog in under 2 minutes. A minute of 200, that's small.
I'm gonna look it up.
That is
Yeah, a break, you can work,
I think I can work 5 more.
5 hours.
I think you can walk
Just 5 hours and then I need
under
another
2
break.
minutes.
But I'm just leaving.
Yeah.
That's how
I'll look it
bad
up
that
next
is.
period.
Goodness.
What we got?
Yes.
In a single day? Okay, that's what I thought. So
But there is like,
Not
there's
good.
that is like not.
Mango one's a hard one. But I would.
Yeah, you
one,
can only work.
the only mango
Yeah.
one I have are the
But you could work, if you get a break after 5 hours, I feel like you could work. Oh, I did. Over 10 hours straight. That's why I feel like
Costco's the most magical place on earth.
Yeah, I know, I love Costco, but my dad buys all like the concessions for our pool. And so he has a Sam's Club membership like through the pool, so we just do Sam's Club.
What pool?
Marinol,
Does your dad run Marinol?
he's a big part of Marinol. He's not like the head, but he's. Yeah, what's that for?
Who's the swim coach?
I don't know.
It used to be Beavers. Yeah, I don't know if I think she did it, well, I don't know if they had a team last year, but do something.
I think
Looking for something.
it's trash. It's trash. And it's not heated.
That's fine. Not even better than
It's pretty nice.
you know, cold pool is better. Just for
Rachel's got a training at ACC.
I don't know.
Huh?
Makes sense.
I know.
Yeah, ours is like the only pool in
It's 2
Philly
days.
that's not.
What? I know this sounds crazy, but
Training day in 3 days.
Wait, do we have?
Are you gonna come here?
Our pool is trash.
Whatever
Everyone they just like hold the thing on pool. Yeah, it's trash. It's not great though. So.
Yo,
what if I said
Okay.
I wasn't ready for the splits? I am.
I would say, well,
I guess we need to.
sucks to be you.
Fair enough. Good thing I'm ready.
Thank you. So for a bonus point, if you can tell me what function number 1 is, you get a bonus point. What function should it be? What function that you know and love?
Do we have a bonus question?
I didn't do one. I'm a loser.
We're stacking up these bonus questions that you owe us. Mr. Mayor.
Stacking them up.
Are you done?
Good.
Are you done?
Yeah. Why?
You put them in water, it'll like quadruple in size. Supposedly.
Oh my God, I didn't know those things. Those are so funny.
Wait, no,
Put it in your mouth.
Just as the radius.
Yeah.
I got that. I feel like it's.
Let me put it.
Which is why I'm not thinking.
No, I think you will.
What makes you think that?
Because I had other things like this.
Did you?
Yeah, he came as part of a kit.
You said you get bonus points for.
They do.
You just don't know. I just said, tell me what function that is.
Well, yeah.
Oh, wait, do I have my
The second one, I don't think it's.
I have my
They're actually quadruple in size.
Bring it.
You said forget that.
Okay, here you go.
Alligator like this. in school. I won't freak anyone out like this.
Yeah, perfect, yeah. You don't get to do this.
So, how's your day? Bennett, Billy? No? Are those new shoes? No. So, that first series on there, for number one, that was cosine. Right? Here are the three that we know so far. And I think we wrote it right yesterday, right? -1 to the n, not n plus 1. You guys are the ones that caught that. So we fixed that last period. So let's talk about the ones that you got to do for homework. Yep. Yeah. So the first one was Mama. The first one was x squared times cosine of x. Yes? So how we go about doing this? We just take the series for cosine of x and we multiply all the terms by x squared. Okay? So that would be x squared minus x squared times x squared over 2 factorial plus x squared times x to the 4th over 4 factorial minus x squared times x to the 6th over 6 factorial, right?
My kid is going into CCP stuff right now.
I'm getting tech prepped on mine.
Oh, for the computer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you are. I saw that. I knew you'd be having your room's disgustingly warm.
Yeah, I know. I'm about to.
The guy was in my room all for 30 minutes. The advisory was serious.
So, we want to simplify that? Gary, do you want to simplify that? One thing we got to point out here, friends, I only asked for 4 terms, yes? So it would be equal sign abuse to do that. So I like to use colons there. Oh, gosh. Okay, so Carrie says simplify it, so. Yep. And then if we want to sigmatize this, which I think we said we did, so that's going to be n equals 0 to infinity, -1 to the n. So don't try to figure out a pattern of this. It's so much easier to put it in sigma form from the original sigma form. Just take it and multiply everything by x squared. And then simplify it. So x squared times x to the 2n is x to the 2n plus 2 over 2n factorial. Woohoo! Question? How do we do on that? Do we nail that? Okay, what about e to the radical x? So how are we going to do that one? What are we going to plug in? X. Yeah, everywhere there's a 1x, just plug in x to the 1/2 or radical x. But actually, if you use x to the 1/2, the simplifying just sort of is much, much easier. Then you don't have to switch it to x to the 1/2. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to colon this, so that'll be 1 plus x to the 1/2 plus x to the 1/2 squared over 2 factorial plus x to the 1/2 cubed over 3 factorial. And notice, I think, I don't remember how we set this up yesterday, but I'm writing these like these powers over 2 factorial instead of writing 1 over 2 factorial times the x squared and that sort of thing. Like if you want to still write it as a little coefficient, it's totally fine. No one's going to cut off your hand. Okay. Carrie, do you want to simplify this one? She does. 1 plus x to the 1/2 plus x 1 over 2 factorial plus x to the 3/2 over 3 factorial. Now, what if we were going to sigmatize this? Wow, that was embarrassing. It's going to be x to the 1/2 to the n over n factorial, yes? Which, if you want to write that as x to the n over 2 over n factorial, you're certainly welcome to do so. Yeah.
Is it fine if you have like somewhere you wrote about the fractions like x to the 3 over 2, and then somewhere you have like the square root? So I just want to like simply put x plus square root of x plus 1 over.
I mean, it doesn't matter really, as long as they're equivalent. And, you know, right? Who's next? Sine of x cubed. So what are we going to do here? Plug in x cubed into sine, yeah? Oh, baby. So x cubed minus x cubed over 3, I'm sorry, cubed over 3 factorial plus x cubed to the 5th over 5 factorial minus x cubed over to the 7th and over 7 factorial. Yep. You guys finished that quiz a lot quicker than last period. Because it's 10 till. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Am I reading that clock correctly?
Yes, I think.
I guess we're just that good.
So we're sweet.
Yeah, is that
Very
concerned?
really good.
Should we be concerned?
Well, we still have 20 minutes of class left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're cool like that.
Where did the last class get to? You just enjoy your class so much.
I don't know. You don't have to BS me like that. Come on now. Woo, baby. So I got that. Oh no, what did I do? I abused the equal sign.
I never just had the plus dot 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 again.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Everybody what?
Add the like plus dot 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 again.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Okay, so now sigmatize this. -1 to the n, x cubed to the 2n plus 1 over 2n plus 1 factorial. Okay, so there we go. Now, if we want to simplify this, -1 to the n, x to the 6n, dog here, x to the 6n plus 3 over 2n plus 1 factorial. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. So now, kiddos, what's the next one ask us to do? It said integrate the series. So we really just found the series for sine of x cubed, right? I'm saying integrate that. Okay, so you just want to do the terms first. So here we go. What's the first one? Huh? It's the antiderivative of that. No, the antiderivative of that. X to the 4th over 4. Whew. Glad I asked. What's the antiderivative of the next one? X to the 10th over 10 times 3 factorial. Just leave it like that, homie. Okay? Plus x to the 16 over 16 times 5 factorial. Minus x to the 22 over 22 times 7 factorial. And I'll dot, 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 so I'm not abusing the equal sign. Can we sigmatize this? Yes, you can. And you can actually just anti-differentiate this. Now that looks weird and scary. Okay, this looks so weird and scary to do, but it's actually really easy to do. All you have to do is look at the x's. Everything else with n's that anything with the n's in it stays the same. Okay, so like the -1 to the n stays there. Okay, but the power on x, what happens when you anti-differentiate? The power on x goes up 1. So this is going to be x to the 6n plus 4 divided by 6n plus 4. And then the 2n plus 1 factorial just hang out there. He has nothing to do with the antiderivative in terms of x. Okay? But my friends, more significantly, what is it that we just found? What is this? That is a function that's an antiderivative of sine of x cubed. And guess what? Sine of x cubed, you can't find an antiderivative of conventionally. Like there is, we can't integrate that by parts, or we can't do a u sub, or we can't, we don't have a technique to find that antiderivative. But here it is in its series form. Okay? You can actually have power series representations for functions who don't have like conventional antiderivatives. In fact, you'll run across that if you take differential equations. When you take differential equations, or if you take differential equations, you'll learn about having to find antiderivatives or solutions to differential equations in their power series representation, not the conventional way. Okay, this is actually, they call this closed form. Like sine of x cubed doesn't have an antiderivative in what we call closed form. It's only in series. Yeah.
How do you use that?
How would we use that?
Yeah, like if you're like that like the kind of x squared with a velocity of the medium like that location, how would you use that?
Well, you would use this series as the antiderivative and just then use it as an approximation. And all you got to do is use 10 or 12 terms and you're good to go.
Oh, okay, like evaluate.
Yeah. Right. I mean, these power series, especially the ones for sine and cosine and e to the x, they converge so fast. Like, you don't have to go out too many terms to find them to be quite accurate. So, well, a computer would probably do it. So that's kind of fun. Yeah. Bill?
Can you show us like some crazy ones?
What?
Can you show us like some crazy ones?
What do you mean? This is a crazy one.
I know, but even like more crazy.
I don't know. I mean, we got to show you a couple other things before we get too crazy. Like we got to add. I mean, right now our repertoire over here is kind of small, right? I mean, we only have e to the x, sine of x, and cosine of x. It'd be nice to add to that. The keep it simple method. Well, we're gonna add 2 more probably. I'd like to add 3, but I'm not sure if we can. If we got the time. So how about we do this one? Let's add 1 more right now. How about we consider this series? Consider this polynomial. What do you notice about that? Of course, nothing that you notice would be wrong. You could say, I noticed that it's going slightly uphill. That's correct. Billy, do you notice anything about that series? It's exponential? What do you mean? I don't think you mean that, but I don't think you mean what you're saying. I think you mean something else. Talk me through what you're saying. What do you think?
Terms get bigger.
The terms get bigger by what? The exponents are going up?
Yeah.
Okay. But realistically, each term is getting bigger by a factor of what? Like, what did I multiply this term to get that term? What did I multiply this to get that? So that series, what kind of series? He said it earlier, I just ignored him. I want to really think for a second. That series is geometric, right? What's the common ratio of this? It's geometric. Like my musical notes. What's the common ratio? X, right? Now, we know something about geometric series, right? if the common ratio is between -1 and 1, fraction, those suckers converge, yeah? Yeah. So, what do they converge to? The sum of a geometric series is the first term over what? 1 minus the common ratio. Hey, look at that. That looks like a function of x, doesn't it? So this is another one of our series that we can use to build from. So 1 over 1 minus x is actually equal to this series. 1 plus x squared plus x cubed plus x to the fourth, yada, 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 x to the n. Okay. Ooh, I have an idea. We didn't do this last period. You guys are getting bonus material. Now that you know this, could you write me a series using the Banfo technique for this? What do I need to plug into 1 over 1 minus x to get 1 plus x squared? Negative x squared, right? Do you guys agree that this is the same as 1 over 1 minus negative x squared? Ooh, baby. Okay, plug it in. So, well, 1's going to be 1, yeah? X is going to be negative x squared. X squared is going to be negative x squared squared. X cubed is going to be negative x squared, cubed. X to the fourth is going to be negative x squared to the fourth. Oh, yeah, okay. That's going to be negative x to the fifth. Yeah, okay. Carrie? You know what I'm going to ask you. Do you want to simplify this?
Yeah.
Carrie says yes. Okay. What's this one going to do? That's going to be positive, yeah? X to the fourth. Then this one, negative x to the sixth. Then positive x to the 8th. Then negative x to the 10th. So could we generalize this one? I didn't write the sigma form, but would you guys agree it's going to be negative 1 to the n x to the what? 2n? Is that right? Okay. Bless you. Could you do this for me then? Could you find the antiderivative of this series that we just found? Yeah? Let's do it. Oh, baby. What's the antiderivative of x? What's the antiderivative of 1? X. What's the antiderivative derivative of x squared. Then x to the 7 over 7. Then x to the 9 over 9. Yeah? Would that be negative 1 to the n? X to the 2n plus 1 divided by 2n plus 1. That's going to give me the odds, right? Are you happy with that so far? What's another name for this function? What's another name for the antiderivative of 1 over 1 plus x squared? Don't look over there. No, don't look over here. I'm not trying. No, don't. No, don't look over here. Think back to 10 weeks ago. What's the antiderivative of 1 over 1 plus x squared? I thought I heard someone say it. What did you say? Inverse tangent. This right here, kids, is the power series for inverse tangent of x. And I thought we weren't going to learn the third one, or the last one. Now, it does smell a lot like the series for inverse sine, or sine of x, doesn't it? It looks so much like it. Yeah? Can you tell me what the inverse tangent of 1 is? What angle has a tangent of 1?
It's pi over 4.
It's pi over 4. Everybody agree with that? Don't write this down. So the inverse tangent of 1 is pi over 4, yes? Which means that if I plug 1 into this, that's equal to pi over 4. So pi over 4 has to equal 1 minus 1/3 plus 1/5 minus 1/7 plus 1/9 minus 1/11 plus 1/13 and so forth. Which means that pi has to equal 4 minus 4/3 plus 4/5 minus 4/7 plus 4/9 minus 4/11 plus 4/13 and so forth. Hey, we just found a way that we can find an approximation for pi. That's one way to calculate pi. This one's really, really slow. You got to go out like 1,000 terms so you can get 3.14. That's not what when a computer calculates pi. That's not how you do it. So yeah, we can add this pi over here. Why not? Inverse tangent of x. 1 minus x plus x cubed. Wait a minute. Wait. No 1 then. Oh gosh, this is terrible. X minus x cubed over 3 plus x to the 5th over 5 minus x to the 7th over 7. Yada yada yada. Negative 1 to the n. X to the n. 2n plus 1 over 2n plus 1. No, it's almost exactly like sine, but no factorial, right? So you want some homework to do? I have it in my hand, friends. You're going to have to build these series using the Banfo technique. Now, one of them you don't know how to do. You don't know how to do number 5 yet. But you actually might be able to figure out how to do number 5 from number 6. You get bonus points in your mind for that. weekend. You You'll be here on Monday, right? Because you're not, the ceremony is over by.
It should be over by 3:30.
Are you in that too? There you go. Sticking it to the man.
It should be over by 4:00.
On Thursday and Friday.
Or next week. Yeah, talk to me on Monday or Tuesday. We'll touch base.
Yeah, they have a test on Monday. From 8 to 5:11.
I don't know, I don't think he gets a redemption arc, I don't think he
I
does.
don't think so either. I kind of hope he doesn't, because how do you redeem yourself from that?
I don't know, I mean, that's a big lie.
It's a big lie and a really messed up thing to do.
Yeah.
Like the only redemption I can see is like him dying.
Yeah. But I feel like I
And,
don't
like-
appreciate that.
Like
very much.
sacrificing himself for everyone, and at that point, like, good. You should.
You should, yeah.
Like you don't get applause for doing family minimum.
Yeah. Got it. Excited.
Yeah. See ya. Listen. I think tonight I'm driving, so I can have people over. And like my dad wanted them to like be that like moved away from his home. So if Ella and Franny are cool with that, I'm gonna invite them over for movie night Saturday.
I think Grace might work.
She works until 9:30, I think.
It's not that bad.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Like I was thinking maybe people could come over at 6 or 7.
I think the latest this works is 6.
Okay.
But he may want time.
Yeah. So I might like tell people to like come over at like 6:30 or 7.
Have you asked to check it?
No, I have to make sure it's okay with Ella. They're not
Are they gonna text you back?
Well,
They haven't replied yet.
Marie Doggan invited me and Snyder to go to her graduation at West Point.
Is
Still know if we're gonna go.
Amazon and Franny doesn't really check her phone that often. So, okay, good. So,
Grace texted me yesterday, like, out of the blue on, she sent me a TikTok, and it was about to pick up, and she's like, I really wanna go, you want me to pick you up right now? And I'm like, I just wanna go from a nap. I wanna go.
yeah,
I wanna go, I got these shoes.
Cute.
So cute, right? That was horrifying. I got another pair of sandals, and I got a sweater. The sweater is XXL. I love it. It's gonna be so comfy, but I wanna wear it, which is not for summer.
I think for Tristan's birthday, I'm gonna get him a shirt from Nice Shirt Thanks.
The thing about being a chemistry major,
He's a forensic chemist.
oh my god, that's gonna be so much better. Wait, did you see that TikTok by that person who was forensic, the one that
Yes,
said they
I
don't wanna
sent
be
that to
alive?
him, and he was like, I need that shirt, and I was like, I have an idea.
I have.
What is it, Bessie?
Low.
I tried it.
Okay,
You got that for, oh, that one's busted.
that's the bus in. I got early enough where. No, the last piece.
What was I saying?
Where is Jimmy?
What's up, homie?
I don't know, he never eats here anymore.
I'm gonna
Oh,
beat him
yeah.
up.
He's too full for us.
His, what he thought he was like blueberries more?
Yeah.
It's the same
I
thing.
got a motherfucking parfait, bitch.
I got a pork face too.
That's crazy.
I just put it in my backpack so that it took me off.
They're buffs. You can't take them.
I don't know if you can.
Dude, it's free. I don't think they're gonna stop you.
I know.
Well, that's not all.
The parfaits are free. Oh, yeah.
You only get something?
Yeah.
I love the kids ones.
I got an apple last week, yesterday.
Last week?
This is the gateway drug. You're gonna start getting all the lunch.
No, oh fuck.
The last
Whoa, I
week of
have a
school.
cow.
The last week of
stick.
school.
On senior skip day, I got like.
It's a hell of a drug.
I have a cow stick.
Bro, imagine going to school and you skip day.
You went to school once.
I had to.
What
I
a
had to
nerd.
I had to do ceramics, okay? Joe went too.
Yeah, I know. I already made fun
Yeah,
of Joe.
but Joe had a good reason.
No, she didn't.
Why reason not good?
Ceramics is probably a better reason. I would have done.
What was Joe's reason?
She said you missed too much school already.
Oh, that's all.
No, NHS. Oh,
Sorry, I
NHS.
kind of like really brought down.
Oh. Never mind, that's not a good reason.
Exactly.
It's
I'm
okay.
an NHS and I
By
skip.
the way, which one of you voted for me for worst taste in music?
For what? I voted for Michael.
I think I voted for.
That means you.
What?
Were there only 2 responses?
Yes.
I think
Other
Michael-
than mine.
I think Michael might have done it. Did you do the thing?
No, there
For
were
what?
3 responses last night.
Okay.
Oh,
I did. I don't think
right
I
after
voted
you
for
2
worse.
checks the chat.
I've listened to Michael's music. I know it's worse than yours.
I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
I was like, Michael listens to rap, but it's like trash rap. So what kind? I don't know, trashy rap.
He does not listen to just trash.
No, but Ski Mash is in there. So
That's fair. I voted for you because you don't listen to sad music. Or like slow music, he said.
I mean,
You're
I'll take
missing out.
You said I have the worst taste in music because I don't listen to slow music.
Yes!
That's kind of.
Who the hell only listens to upbeat music?
I don't
What
listen
kind
to
of
upbeat music. I just don't listen to slow music.
I think that's fair.
Oh,
I listen to slow music, but I think that's fair still.
The only upbeat music you Joe went.
I listen to some.
I've been in the car with you. I know what you listen to.
I like fire music. We're
I'm
not kind of like
I'm
classic.
insulted right now.
I was fucking on it.
Yeah,
You were singing so hard.
You were. I saw the video of that. What had
Although I was in the country music sometimes.
I just remembered what you said to me.
I have a 400 song playlist. I feel bad because I didn't vote Grace for anything. I was so close to voting her so many songs.
I voted Michael for like 3 of them.
Songs and stuff. No. Maybe. I don't know. Okay.
That was the only one I
Yeah,
voted.
Charlie.
I felt bad.
Everything on here is.
I
I voted
voted
Charlie
myself
for the
for
spy
it.
question.
For what?
Chris hadn't done it in the class, so he did it.
Probably not.
I do, I guess.
You know, some carrots taste like ass.
Oh, should I voted you for
Ayo.
Charlie?
Yes, check.
I said I voted for the spy question.
This parfait is busting.
Carrot top. Are we
It actually is pretty good.
Yeah,
It's
like-
really fucking
Are we
good.
running
I've never
low?
had one with
Yogurt, granola, and stuff.
I have no stuff.
I didn't expect the yogurt to actually taste as good though.
Is it like sweet or is it Greek?
It's sweet.
Oh wait, we said that new one.
I was
did.
actually expecting Greek yogurt in my head, and that's why it's.
I didn't recognize that it was new.
I just sent, or I sent it a little bit ago.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Chris
Chris still hasn't done it yet. You guys wanna know who's winning what so far?
Yeah.
Okay. Michael is winning most likely to throw a party while the parents are out of town.
I think I voted for that one.
Charlie and Michael are tied for worst taste in music right now.
Who else is on there?
Me and Chris. Wow.
Is it because of that British rap video that puts on the car
I
sometimes?
should have voted for that. You fucking
British
deserve
rap
that.
is fine.
No.
That just sounds bad.
So sometimes.
Me and Chris are
They're
tied for
mumbling
best
through
taste in
teeth.
music right now. Michael and Tristan are also in there. I'm guessing.
Right.
No, Michael and Tristan.
For what?
Best taste in music.
Do vegan people only eat vegetables and fruit?
It's a 3-way tie.
What?
What the fuck do vegan people eat? They eat it.
Oh, they can eat anything that doesn't come from an ant.
Including no gelatin.
Yeah, the gelatin is big with pig.
Let's just make buns in general.
But so vegans can eat pancakes, they can eat
Ranch?
I don't know.
Bro, you gonna go vegan? Is that why
Fuck
you're like,
no.
you're deciding factor?
Well, they
is
can't eat
ranch?
pancakes, not real ones.
What about peanut butter?
I'm not vegan.
Joe, why are
It
you listening
depends.
to all the things you eat? Because I'm just thinking.
Me,
They should be able to,
Chris, and
usually
Charlie,
peanut oil.
it's a three-way
and
tie.
peanuts
for
and
most
honey. Oh, wait, they
subscriptions.
can't have honey.
We can have honey?
Yeah.
Huh?
You're winning for most likely
What's wrong with honey?
Comes from bees. You and Grace are
They
tied.
enslaved the bees to make honey.
Oh, yes, like,
You were voted for that one by one person.
Michael is winning, most likely to fall for a pyramid scheme. I voted for that one. I was like, maybe Grace, no, Michael.
Sophia, you and I are tied for most likely to be left behind in the rapture. And you're winning who has the most misleading community.
I voted for this for that one.
And Charlie, you're winning who has lots of hidden skills and talents.
I voted for this for that one.
I don't remember who I put for that one, so.
Because guys, I tell you, I got nothing else on that person.
I don't remember. Joe, do you want one of my fancy pretzels today? No. I'm vegan.
Which the ranch has been out of?
Carrot sauce. I don't know what you did.
Hey, Franny texted.
Yeah, ranch.
So did
ranch
I.
trees.
What'd they say? They said what's up, because I hadn't asked.
Oh. When I was a kid, I thought that everything grew up.
Seems like
Oh, yeah.
a interesting thing.
The meat tree.
The meat yogurt tree.
Ranch tree.
Ranch.
I hate the ranch tree.
That's cursed. Does it like grow along with the carrots on the carrot sauce tree?
When's every time like, you guys have
Oh,
so
no, it's
far
supposed to
away.
get cold tonight, isn't
I was
it?
like, cool, break me up.
Also,
Why
we're
did
gonna
you
be in
do
public
that?
in a bathing suit,
Well,
it would be us. So,
Like, but why?
oh, we might have a movie night at my house.
Exactly.
No, vegans cannot have ranch.
If you guys aren't coming over until like.
Yeah, it's got buttermilk in it.
7:30.
I didn't know what was in it.
Like, yeah.
That's what mayonnaise.
Is it really?
Send them out.
I'm gonna do that.
Buttermilk, sour cream, and sometimes.
Okay. Well, all three of them
Twins.
are dairy/egg products.
Talking about ranch.
Definitely said egg frogs.
Egg
products.
products.
Nope, egg
Egg
frogs.
frog,
Open
egg
up your
frog,
ears.
egg frog.
They're very
egg
open,
frog.
thank you.
Billy, I like the shorts.
I was about to say those
Very
very
nice.
short. And
Check
you got
the
the
drip.
red because there's red on the shorts.
Mm-hmm.
Not intentional. I
Can
know.
we get a fit check?
He doesn't want to do it. And Max's hair.
The hair is not part of the fit, Joe.
I think it can be. Have
Well, I
you seen
think-
guys that like have afros and like shave them into like baseball?
I've never seen
I've
that.
never seen that.
No, it's like memes. I've seen them.
Braden kind of.
Did
They
you
make
see the
me
email
laugh.
we just posted?
What?
Did you see the new email we just posted?
No. I'm looking. But it's not gonna load, so if you could just show me, that would be so swag.
You get many swag bugs.
Swag bucks? Oh no. Who is that?
Because Ms. Rybert's kid.
Somebody took a picture of what?
It was Brandon.
Wait, what? Wait,
Christopher,
Kristen's fine. He's taking the quiz. He's good.
I can't believe he did that. He's like, new email. And I'm like, okay, I'll do it.
No, that was funny though. That's why it's so high definition because he got it on his fucking computer. HD. Right.
Oh, dang it, original. What? Why am I so popular, honestly?
Oh my god, Joe.
I don't. I just like doing funny shit like that.
I wonder what happens when you freeze tapioca.
What the
It
heck
probably
is
It
freezes.
literally has a warning that says do not
It's
freeze.
just like,
It'll blow up.
It's rice pudding.
No, it'll expand and then it'll probably burst it.
It's fucking delicious, that's what it is.
The results are.
It is good.
This is disgusting.
Especially
Voted
this
for me
is a
for
bougie
worst
brand.
taste in music. I'm gone.
well, to be fair, you can't expect me to listen to it.
Molly, we have horrible days. I have great taste in music.
Molly, everyone thinks they have great taste in music, so regardless of your taste in music.
though.
No, I don't care what you say. Regardless of what anyone else thinks, you're always gonna think that you have great taste in music.
I need to know what music you listen to, Wallace.
What music do I listen to? I listen to music.
He listens to a lot of Johnny Cash.
That's true.
I love
You
Johnny.
saying I listen to music is so fucking pretentious. Oh my god.
Chris voted for himself for best taste in music.
Well, like legit, I listen to most
I
music.
You.
Are you
I
fucking
love like
serious?
the old
Are you
tiny
kidding?
like.
I'm
Don't-
listening to
don't-
a playlist.
I love
Don't
music
like
right
Johnny
now.
literally like oh
I
my
love
god,
Billy
Joel,
Joel.
I listen to
which is good.
most music,
But it's like
except
the
I
only
listen to
thing
country and I don't listen to rap.
That is British rap.
I'm in second. The
British
first
rap
one
is
is
No, I need to unironically listen to it.
Yeah, no, you know
What's the
me.
worst?
I love like some Michael tied for worst
So
taste
like
in music.
black British rap music in the car, and then he'll say
Okay,
words.
but like, what do you mean by British rap?
Oh,
Like,
What's it
is this
called?
I don't
It's got
remember.
a name.
like, is this like Big Shack, or is this like,
Do you remember the song you played in the car? I don't remember the name.
Why would I?
or is this like just like
I'm most
British, like just random British people
Like
making up?
SoundCloud.
Is it like a SoundCloud British rapper, or is this actual like?
It was on Apple Music, so
Like,
take it as you will.
I guess that's a little bit above SoundCloud.
I listen to like country, just like all country. Like I like old
I'm gonna
country,
block
new
you.
country and everything. No, some countries genuinely.
She
Like
said all.
Johnny Cash.
No, actually I listen to all that stuff, but normally I listen to this is gonna be worse for you. Let me read some of my artists. Wait, but I like Billy Joel.
Chris was the last one that had to do it. Seriously.
I listen to Hailstorm, Low Rida, Cardi B,
Slow ride.
No, because that makes so much sense. Like it should.
Migos, Waka Flocka Flame, Posty, Lil Nas X.
Okay, so
Gucci
Michael won
Mane.
that one.
What?
Oh my god, there was a three-way tie for worst taste in music.
Yeah, it was Michael Molly.
Oh, Soulja Boy.
I'm not even on there. That's flex.
I have Drake. I have a lot of Migos. I really like.
Respectfully, Ron, no.
I'm kidding.
If you think she should be, why didn't you vote for it?
Cause I thought that Charlie.
I don't want to listen to Rick Ross rip right now. Joe, turn it off.
Turn it. Oh, actually, you know what song that is?
Just by the first few beats.
What? You listen to Kendrick Lamar.
I don't remember the song
You'd
Chris
like
played
it.
in the car.
Okay, I listen to some Big Sean.
When Chris has the best.
I love Young Dolph. I love his
That's his
voice.
voice. He goes so much.
I like Lil Nas X's voice too. It's so deep.
Sexy.
What?
Undercover spy. Okay.
I think his voice is deep.
Wait, why did Grace and Michael tie for the pyramid scheme?
Wait, no, that's not the one I was thinking of.
You won for most likely to be left behind.
Yeah, I did. I'm kind of proud of that. I'm trying to find the one that's really deep. Find it.
I won one. I'm happy. Who has the most misleading demeanor? But who is this? Is it like my which demeanor is it? I've got many. Stop.
No, you have one. I'm trying to think of the most insulting thing.
Molly, I don't. like
No, you
Chris
have
and I.
one. Bitch.
That's so funny.
I don't want to be tired.
I made a mess.
You're tired of Chris. Who's Chris?
Chris Fran.
Oh,
Chris.
I voted Tristan for most misleading demeanor because he's just not
the
the person who's like, oh wow, I think he needs me. I'm like, hates everything, and then you get to know him, and he's like,
And then he gives you the biggest like softie you've ever met.
who?
Kristen. I don't even know that. Why not?
He's flat and voicing out. Oh, sorry.
He's an interesting child.
I don't have any friends.
Shut
You're literally popular.
I've only played two
Not popular.
Sorry, any askers?
The picture of Michael with the whiteboard that says you asked.
My favorite, oh, there's so many good ones that you made of Michael.
I.
Mine is I'd be saying it is what it is, but what is it?
What the fuck are you doing?
I'm writing out my solo today.
What a nerd.
You're what?
I'm writing out my solo.
Oh my god, nerd!
You're writing a solo. I love this one. You're writing music right
I
now?
just hate all these
She's
bitches.
a music
Can you
nerd.
just play it right now? You won't let
No,
anyone take pictures of you, so I'm
Yes,
going
you
to.
do.
Or maybe
No.
whatever malevolent god did that ugly to fix it.
You're not ugly.
Okay, well then not
You and
photogenic.
Sophia look exactly the same, and you're both hot.
That picture of you.
I did not go to that.
You
So
said,
it's okay,
I
let's
love
play.
that picture.
Who let me look like that? Like, why did nobody stop me?
The picture of the snore makes you want to kill yourself and not this.
No, that's funny. I tried to do that.
Yeah, I did that photo.
Told you, I'm the president.
No, but this is genuinely my favorite one. Aside from that, you career with this.
I hate it. I hate that you made me take that photo.
I love
It's the grip.
Literally punish you.
also
Punishable by death.
this one. I love.
I can't read it. I don't know what it is.
Once in fifth grade, this kid called me a homo and I thought he meant homeless and I was so confused. I said, Jeremy, you've been to my
That
house.
was a picture of you.
Tomorrow.
I couldn't tell who that was because
Really?
she didn't look like Amara. I will go feral over these pretzels.
They that good?
They're not that good.
That one's really true, and then she sent a video of it.
My dad gave it. He gave
You
it to
want?
me first. He's like, oh, I think you like
Yeah,
it.
control.
I didn't like them. And
I'll use my clean hand.
he gave it a real.
Big fish.
I've had it before.
This
Oh, yeah.
one, so
That's pretty good.
maybe we-
I don't think they're excellent, but they're pretty alright.
I don't like pretzels, so
Really? But you like these?
it's
I like
kind of the
pretzels in
flavor of
general.
it. It's not just salt. There's extra.
It's
I
like-
love pretzels.
I
They
like
have more.
soft pretzels a lot.
Soft pretzels are good, except I hate whenever you like get them, like the big like carnival ones or whatever, they always oversalt it.
I like salt.
I like salt, but
No,
like-
you're right. You're right.
But it's like snow. It's like completely white. It's just not. It's not that.
I
good.
want
Alright.
cupcakes.
So
Oh, yeah.
at the end of the day, when they give us them for free, we're like, fuck yeah, pretzels. And then
It's really bad.
They
it's
just
the
brush the salt
worst
off.
thing in the world.
That's what I do.
They're like stuffing piggy.
Unless, or if there's leftover cheese, it's edible. Because the cheese softens.
I don't like cheese.
The pretzel.
I love it.
I do, but that's me. I just like cheese though. I'm gonna be real. It's good.
You know, I was gonna ask you what your major is gonna be, but I already know what it is.
What is it?
Some dumb math shit.
Oh my god.
Is she right?
Well, there's no such thing as dumb math shit, so
Well, guys.
Technically,
that's the best.
Yeah. What are you making?
Yes.
math.
Well, you can't just. Well, actually, you could. I'm
What are
minoring
you
in math.
math majors?
I'm going to minor in
I'm
math
not
actually.
making that. I might double major though. I might double major in math and physics.
L.
I could never. I think I would actually die.
I think
It's
I
so fun.
in my life. I
I know it's gonna be something to do with like.
math.
Yeah, something not really, but I don't know what specific.
For you?
I'm not doing
No.
accounting.
No,
I'll
no.
tell you that much. I'm not doing accounting.
Fuck no.
That's so
How are you gonna be?
No, I'm real math, not
Oh, what?
calc major.
Hey, you can be
What do you mean
my
by calculation?
Is that a thing?
No.
Can you give us some examples of majors because we don't know any?
Mathematics is a major.
Mathematics is like a major. on its
Physics
own.
is a major.
I'm going to
Physics
engineer
is a
my
major.
arts.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
There's all the types of engineering.
I probably retake calc. Why do I not want to go to
Like
college?
mechanical engineering? Is it one of the engineers?
It's one.
Mechanical.
No.
Electrical. There we go. Oh, yeah, we were just talking.
Well, my parents are electrical engineers, so that's at least when I'm like start studying.
Yeah,
I don't know if it'll stay that way. I don't wanna do chemicals though, I hate them.
that's it. I'm majoring in, film and media studies with a minor in sociology.
I think I'm gonna minor math, cause like I have one more math class I have to take for my engineering degree, so I may as well just keep taking math.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, God, don't just stop.
Yeah. Cause then I would lose all of my skill and then I would be fucked in the workplace.
I think it's workplace and I realized that no.
I mean, there's a decent chance of that, but I still wanna be able to do math.
We flinched a little bit.
My fun.
It's flinched.
Yeah, turn around.
I was grabbing my one.
Nope.
Yeah, turn around.
Okay, turn around. I think we're gonna fight. I think this is what
I think we're gonna.
I don't think you will.
I do.
I think I have a fair shot.
Oh, he's a big man.
No, he's not.
Kind of fat. I weigh like 250 pounds. I weigh way more than I should.
He's a big man. Kind of fat.
Grace is just cool with it, she's waiting for the
Ella, come on. Come on. Who?
But
Why?
I'm having some people over this weekend while my parents are out of town.
If Ella says no, I'll send her we'll send her a picture of me.
Are
Just
you,
like,
like,
you don't want to
crying?
see this? Come on.
Or we can all individually message Ella.
You do all have her number.
Ella, please. Ella, please.
Wait, Ella's coming home this weekend?
Ella's been home for like fucking 2 weeks.
It feels like it, because it feels like I see her around town all the time.
Yeah,
And
it's she'll be like, yeah, I'm just gonna home for like the weekend, and then she'll stay through like the whole week. And it's like, bro, I get that you don't like OSU, but like, you have a roommate. You just leave her alone for weeks.
I think Katie's fine.
That's fair.
We're going up on Sunday.
So, I know she's going back to night, but she has to like get something.
But then she's coming back.
And then, well, she has to, because both of my parents are leaving Tuesday for the late, and Franny needs a ride to practice and to do that.
And you aren't driving.
can't drive. Well, I also don't have. So. Even if I could drive, like, Ella would still have to come back. 'Cause she-
Wait, are your parents both taking their first?
I think so.
Oh, okay. That was separate.
I think they're leaving at different times, so different my dad going up.
Is it?
I think he went up this
You better not
morning.
hit in the fucking gear.
Oh my god, that was terrifying.
Yeah.
My dad was, I almost said our dad. My dad was
Middle.
driving up to Blake, it was a
And
2
if
in
it
the
is, then
morning,
I can't look
there
for
was
it.
a woman on the highway and a deer jumped out at him. So technically the deer hit him,
Yeah.
and he almost totaled his car, like that's how.
I was gonna say, it was pretty
It
bad,
was- Yeah.
wasn't it?
It was so bad, and then like, so he got to the lake because he was like a half hour away, and it was 2 in the morning, and he was like on the highway. So he was like, I'm gonna keep driving. And he gets there and he sends us a picture, the entire like hood of the car, with the front was like indented. And it was so ugly. It was also a brand new car that he had gotten like 2 months before, and he almost went and cried. And then I was telling Mark about it the next day at work. But my dad got it fixed, and then like he almost got the car. And then they got it fixed. And he was going up to the lake the next weekend, and his car broke down on the highway. Yes. So he called them, made them give him a car to borrow because they fucked up something with his car. They took his back to the shop to fix it, and he took a free car. He made them give him a free car. That is-
I can see your dad doing that.
My mom was like a teenager. She said she was driving somewhere with her friend and they hit a deer, but they like couldn't stop. Like they were telling me, and they used the windshield wipers to like get the deer's guts off the windshield.
You gotta do that.
But that's just horror movie type shit right there. Also, she also put on the car with the movie.
Like,
When we first moved here. Yeah, I fractured my ribs.
You grabbed your room?
Yeah, I mean, it was okay.
you done?
You can like pretty much do everything.
Yeah, you're supposed to have a wrap, right?
Really disappeared. He teleported away. Pretty much take after him, and they really do it for it. But anyways, it was like first moved to Kettering. She bought a new car, and we were coming. You know, when you turn on to Glenhead from Wilmington, well, we were on Glenhead, and it's going downhill and it turns. It was Super Bowl Sunday, and it was snowing so hard. And she was actually scolding me about driving carefully, even though I was like 14 years old at the time. And then she slid into a parked car on our way. We were going like 5 miles an hour. We were going like 5 miles an hour, going so slow, going around this corner. And she lost steering and brakes and like all traction.
Oh.
And we gained speed downhill into a parked car.
That
And
happened.
it.
That happened.
And I was in the passenger seat where we crashed.
My car, I lost traction. Like this winter, as I was driving up like the street to like Far Hills, so bad. Like right, and it just.
Like Far Hills.
No,
Oh.
it slid like into the grass. It was fine.
Okay, good. One time I was driving, it was like 9. It was this past year. It was one of the days when it snowed really bad, like it was like March or something. It was snowed really bad. I'm driving to her house after practice on a Thursday night, so it was like 10:30 after practice. And there were no cars, but I saw her road, and it's down, Waynesville Road, you know what that is?
No, but
It's just empty, tons of farmland, 2-lane, really long.
okay.
And I was driving down, like, there were no cars in sight, but I, like, started braking. I was going, like, 50, which is slow for that road. And it was really bad weather. And I got to her street, and I saw it, and I started braking super early, right? And then even when I got to her street, I was going, like, 5 miles an hour, and I just slid right past the street. I was like, fuck. And so I was just, like, stay calm. And then there's a car coming. So I was like, stay calm. And I backed up, and I turned, and I made it in time. Whew! That's one of those stay calm under pressure moments. Oh my god. Yeah.
Yeah, this winter was
It was kind of
it was
bad.
pretty bad.
It was awesome.
There was this one day,
People learn.
like it was.
Good than that.
I think it was a Friday or a
What?
Thursday.
Good for people learning to drive. Yeah.
I mean, that's how I learned to drive in the winter. So like I had that.
I did too. But actually, the year I learned to drive, it didn't really snow. And like the night I did, my dad was like, "You don't know how you can." I'm like, "Fuck."
I had my brother teaching me because he learned to drive in Massachusetts with the.
Both of yours are from Michigan, where it's been a little time. Yeah. Bro. And I think yeah. Keep my pants. Hold up, get my pants ready. See ya, Wally.
See ya.
See ya. Okay.